Thank you.
So, so we're in a world with a lot of Western medicine and a lot of energy. And I love your point, Christine. I think I love working with magic people because yes, like whatever you need, we'll take care of.
Yes.
That spirit is so much there. But yeah, we're in a world with Western medicine and a lot of energy medicine, and I imagine here people are inclined towards being a curiosity towards energy. But how do the two mix? And Pat, you as a registered nurse, you have to kind of dance in both worlds. Can you share about that?
Sure. Like I had mentioned before, there's medication, there's treatment, and sometimes it takes a while for that to work. So while you're waiting or going through that healing process, the pranic healing comes in very nicely. I'm thinking during night shift, someone with anxiety, I could go in and work with them with the pranic healing. I got away with using my hands by saying, put a washcloth across your eyes, relax, and then I was able to do that. There are still some people with psych issues that I've used it for them as well. We've had some so-called non-compliant people that don't want to take meds. So there was a gentleman who was very paranoid. He was actually a survivor of the Russian occupation of an Eastern European country. And so it was very real what had happened to him. But he brought that with him and always had that feeling of people trying to kill him. So he would occasionally get into it with someone. And at one point, we thought it was going to lead to a physical altercation. And this man is 95 years old. So we didn't want this to happen. And I could remember going into my office, sweeping, energizing, and then he went off somewhere. We weren't sure where he was at because it's independent living. So it's not like people check in with us. But I ran into him later in the hallway, and he just looked at me. He smiled unprompted, and he said, "It went away." And he was lit up. He was so overjoyed. So it helps that way. And it also helps in so many other ways, like you could sweep medications. You could also help people. For instance, I had a friend with breast cancer, and I worked on her every day. And then she developed lymphedema, which is that swelling in the one arm. So I worked on that. And so even though she was taking meds, sometimes it's not that quick. But she told me the lymphedema cleared up so quick. It was like within a couple of days, she was fine with that. So I think it speeds the healing up. It puts the energy in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was quite a bit of discussion about this leading up to this. Anybody else want to share about that dance between Western and energy?
Well, I'm happy to add a little bit because it's very interesting to me. So I won't go into this whole story, but I came into energy healing not through the front door. I came through the back basement door that had boxes and stuff blocking the entrance. It was like really hard because I was raised as anything we're talking about tonight to me was, I just call it woo-woo nonsense. Total non-believer, 100% non-believer. You could not have, none of this I would have believed. I just wouldn't. It wasn't in me to do that. And I won't bore you with the whole story, but I ended up sort of against my will getting an energy healing session for some recurring pain that I had from an old football injury when I was playing football in college. And for 30 years, I suffered with this. And modern medicine, MRIs, x-rays, doctors, specialists, podiatrists, surgeons, you name it, couldn't figure this out. And some friends of mine talked me into going to energy healing, which I did. Only the sole reason I went to, honestly, 99% of the reason I went there was so I could tell them this did not work and that it was woo-woo nonsense and to stop bothering me about it. That's honestly, well, it did work. And so I did nothing but prove myself wrong. And that very day, I started researching because I went, how does this work? I don't understand this, right? And the woo-woo nonsense gave way to science, because this is really all science. Every bit of this is neuroscience. It's quantum, all the quantum sciences. That's how and why all this actually works. Even though it's been around for thousands of years, the science is just now starting to overlap the art of this. And it's doing so now like in an accelerated way. And, you know, to Pat's point, I've been researching this recently, and I'm going to have I'm going to write an article about this, or an essay or something, and I'll probably put it on the blog on Find Magic People at some point, or if you get in touch with me later on through Find Magic People, I may put it into a PDF and just make it available on the internet. But some things that are happening is that I mean, there's a lot happening, but just highlights. There are now legit big time hospitals like the Mayo Clinic, like Cleveland Clinic, like Sloan Kettering. I mean, there are hospitals all over the United States, but there's like many, many more throughout India and the United Kingdom in particular. And they're now embracing these ideas of energy healing right into the hospital. And if you research it, you will find they don't generally call it energy healing or pranic healing. Sometimes you'll find some that talk about Reiki, but they use other names because this is like so weird. But hospitals don't do this just for fun. They don't do it just because somebody came and said this is a good thing. They do it because they can find scientifically results that are consistent and reliable and predictable, that happen time and time and time and time again. And all these hospitals are also, as they're incorporating in it, they're doing tons and tons of research about the science of this and how it all works. And so one of the things one of the first things I learned about pranic healing in my very first class was there's
You somehow muted yourself. Hold on, Dexter.
that said, there's a big disclaimer on everything they handed me that said, pranic healing does not replace medicine, modern medicine. It is a complementary modality. So I have clients all the time that are seeing their doctors for headaches, for pains, for sore knees, for sore backs. They're getting ready for back surgery. I don't tell them don't do that because we can fix it with pranic healing. I go, cool, glad you're seeing your doctor. Keep doing that, and we'll do our pranic healing, and we'll accelerate the healing process. We'll clean up the area that's going to be operated on. We'll make it easier. I've had a slew of people who are going into surgery where the surgeon actually came to them after the surgery and said, I was shocked at how easy the surgery was, that I didn't expect it to be, because the area just was so clean for some reason. So there's this marriage going on now between modern medicine and alternative medicine.